Well, there's an old saying that thieves will steal anything that isn't nailed down, and that phrase is, unfortunately, blooming with reality for some city residents who report that, of all things, their flowers are being stolen. Their story from 2 on Your Side's Dave McKinley.
Greg Bodecker takes pride in his West Side neighborhood, tending to the flowers he put out to spruce up his unit in the row houses he calls home.
I had a fantasy of having the hanging gardens here, and I did my part.
Until someone pilfered the petunias, and that's not the first time his flowers were filched.
I had put some potted things, and then they all disappeared last year. And the same happened across the street.
And so he put out an alert on the Nextdoor app about these gardenia grabbers, which sprouted several replies.
And I got a variety of responses.
And not just of the garden variety. Amid a Me Too-like response which bloomed, the seeds were sown for several suggestions. Amid the ideas germinated, one was to use zip ties to thwart the thieves. Another actually suggested putting razor wire around the roses and such.
Which is probably not a great idea, but just, figuring out kind of safer ways to get them to be more difficult to walk away with.
But why would someone boost the begonias or abscond with the azaleas?
It seems like there is a market, I suppose, for
perhaps purloined pansies?
I think I paid at the Clint Market there, I paid $22 a basket, and that's not cheap.
Maybe they're opening a store or something.
Well, that's pretty entrepreneurial.
Because he's gotten reports that in some cases they've made off with more than the marigolds.
If you put out a little sculpture or something and then all of a sudden that's gone, and even things like hoses. It may be people that have discovered there might be a little trunk business with items that are out there.
Now, lest we forget, there is a serious side to snitching. The snapdragons, some of these larger, more elaborate hanging baskets in particular, can be very expensive, and it is not uncommon for some folks to drop several $100 every spring at their favorite garden center. There's also the thought that thieves know Memorial Day weekend in particular is prime season for them to be purchased and put out and perhaps to be taken and quickly resold. Dave McKinley, Channel 2 News.